Hey, this is Russ. I am out at Busse Woods. I took my third fall coming here. It's too bad the camera wasn't on at the time. It would have made a great video. Let me tell you how I fell. I was riding on the street, and then all of a sudden I felt my leg, or I should say I felt my foot was kind of getting stuck on the pedal. Then I realized my shoelaces had come untied and was wrapping around the pedal, which essentially means you're gonna fall. Because if you stop pedaling and you stop, you can't get your foot down on the ground when you stop. Now, I had to make some decisions. As you know, that my left knee has a replaced knee, and although the left knee and left leg is stronger now, it's not that strong. And the shoelace that came untied was the right foot. So I had to decide, do I lean the bike towards the left and let my left leg hold me up along with the big bike? Or do I slow down and take the fall on the right side because you can't put your right leg down because it's stuck on the pedal? So guess which one I chose? Yep, I chose fall on the right side. So I came as close as I could to a curb, which of course has grass on the other side of the curb, and prepared that I was going to fall. And sure enough, yep, slowed down, tried to put my right foot down, couldn't do it because it was stuck on the pedal, and down I went. So, assessing the damage, what happened? Well, the right knee is skinned. Kind of knew that was going to happen. And the left side of the leg, of course, falls on top of the bike, so that's not really skinned. It's just kind of bruised a little bit because it kind of falls on top of the frame of the bike and everything. So yeah, I can feel the sting on the right knee. It is definitely skinned. Luckily, I have a bandage. Well, my wife had packed me some bandages for my first aid kit, so to speak. Interestingly enough, she packed some Snoopy bandages. Kids bandages. I don't know how we got this. Probably when my daughter was young or something like that. You don't use bandages that much unless you cut yourself all the time. We don't do that, so it must be old bandages. So yeah, I got a Snoopy bandage on my right knee right now. Go past these people first. So I texted my wife. She wanted to know if she should pick me up, and I told her no because I'm not that bad. I mean, there's stinging on the knee, but it's not like I'm damaged beyond that. Yeah, it's bloodied a little bit. If you see my hands going up all the time, it's because I'm usually getting hit in the face with a bug. Alright, so here's what I'm doing with Busse Woods today and why I decided to come out. It's a Sunday morning. What time is it here? 7:56. It's going to get warmer. But the reason I decided to do Busse Woods today is because I wanted to do an experiment with the GoPro. As you know, I've been recording at 4K, but this time I'm recording at 1080p. So I'm doing 1080p, 24 frames per second, with a standard bit rate. just to see what the quality looks like. Now, I've been debating whether I should be passing or not. I will a little later. I'll give these guys a chance to get a little bit of speed coming down the hill here. So yeah, that was the event of the day. If the GoPro was on, you would have seen a good fall. So being early in the morning, we have the sun facing us. I decided this time not to wear my sunglasses because I know the last time I've been at Busse Woods with the sun facing me like this, sometimes the glare makes it very difficult to see. It's just a haze on your sunglasses. So I decided I'll forego the sunglasses for now until the sun gets a little higher up in the sky. Alright, we're gonna have to make our pass, but it's hard to do that because it's kind of hard to know. Alright, we're gonna do it now. The thing is that I know that if people hate e-bikes, it's because of the fact that we are able to pass them. But on the other hand, do you sit back and go slow because they can't go fast? That's the question. I've seen guys on road bikes go really fast down here. One time I was riding and that guy was going faster than me. The only thing he wasn't able to do was go up that hill going up over the highway. That he had to slow down a little bit, but I did not pass him. I didn't need that added anguish. But yeah, he was going really fast. So some of these guys are really something else. They're faster than you are on an e-bike. The lady that just passed us with the bike, she had a dog on her back. I know it's probably hard to see since we're shooting at 1080p at 24 frames a second. Had we shot at 60 frames a second, you probably would have seen it better. So because my knee has been skinned, you're going to find that I'm going to throttle more than pedal today. Because I can feel it. And because this is a Sunday, you see how many people are out here at Busse Woods. You know, you wait until later, it's going to get even more people. But I wanted to try out this GoPro at 1080p. Otherwise, I would have skipped doing Busse Woods on a Sunday. Now, I know by the time you guys see these videos, I've recorded so much already now. I don't think you're going to see this one until the following Saturday. All right, I've got to get there before these geese do. Yeah, good. If those geese were going to cross my path, I'd have to wait. Because the geese don't move fast, I'll tell you that. And they don't get out of your way either. They take their time. Alright, this is the area that we usually go fishing. There's a couple guys fishing. Yeah, there's a ton of people out here. Alright, now we can't pass because we got people on the left and people on the right. So we've got to wait. Yeah, we're going really slow here. Those guys are running at an average of 3 to 4 miles an hour. They say that a fast walking pace is about 4 miles an hour. And the reason I know this is because my mobility scooter does 4.5 miles an hour, and they claim that is a fast walking pace. So for people who are supposedly running, they weren't running too fast. They were running really slow. My mobility scooter would have been faster than that. Yeah, I feel like I'm playing dodgeball or something here, dodging all the people, because there's so many people out here. There's another guy going fishing. We've fished this area before. Yeah, definitely feeling the sting. Feeling the sting on the knee. A lot of bugs too. It is flying into my eyes. Even though you have glasses on, somehow they make it around there. They still hit you in the eyeball. A lot of bugs. I remember seeing somewhere, I don't know if it was on Amazon or somewhere, they were selling bike helmets with face shields on them, so bugs don't hit you in the face. I guess it kind of makes sense, but thank you. But that would look a little strange, I think. Face shield on it. And the thing with riding on these bike paths, if you have more than one person that you're riding with, it's very hard to ride side by side without getting in the way with other people. And of course, it's really not fun riding single file because you can't talk to the guy in front of you or behind you. That's why they make these helmets from Sena, S-E-N-A, that have Bluetooth communications. That's kind of cool. Then you could talk to a bunch of people. I just saw a fish splash. I think somebody caught something. Maybe. There's a lot of people fishing out here. Some people are fishing off of the bridge. Others have walked down the path. More guys coming with fishing poles. Fishing poles, yeah. Do you call them fishing poles or fishing rods? Technically they're rods. But if you're old school, you call them fishing poles. I usually call them rods. I don't know why I called it poles this time. So I'm going to take you through the entire Busse Woods path. before shutting us down. So this is an 11-mile ride to go totally around the path. And so I figured this was a good reason to try the 1080p. If you did this in 4K and you did the entire path and made it one long video, you know how long that would take to render? It would take forever. So 1080p with a standard bit rate and the view of Super View. Super View is their ultra wide angle on GoPro. Yeah, I figured this would be a good test. So how are you guys liking this new view? Do you guys like the GoPro view? The thing with the GoPro is you're able to see my handlebars, you're able to see my screen. It should be more stabilized so that you don't see us bouncing around as much. Of course, I am bouncing, but the horizon and everything should look pretty level. On your left. You can see how many people are actually out already in the morning at Busse. Definitely a more popular path than Prospect Heights or the 3-mile path that we go on. Another thing that I figure was a good test is the fact that it is a shaded area and bright area because you're going in and out of forests. The trees give you good shading. So it's a good test to see how well the camera does as it goes in and out of different brightness levels, different brightness areas. Overall, I am fairly impressed with the GoPro. I mean, it's a cheap little camera. It's, I guess some people would not say it's cheap. It cost me about $414 for my promo. But it's relatively inexpensive. I mean, the Canon camera costs more than this thing. But I think in terms of action video, the GoPro does a pretty good job. It's nice and small and lightweight. There's really no adjustments you need to do once you set your settings up. I did change the settings on the camera to do certain things. It's not the factory settings. And I learned a lot of that off of other YouTubers who suggested, various settings. And then I modified some too of my own. But yeah, it's relatively good. Now, when I said it's inexpensive, it is compared to my other cameras. I was a professional photographer for about 30 years, over 30 years, really. Yeah, over 30 years. And so I'm used to having the top of the line cameras. I mean, my cameras will cost $5,000 plus for just the camera body. And then you've got the lenses. You'd have probably around $12,000 worth of camera gear for one camera kit to shoot weddings and events and things like that. We are in the area where the elk are, so I'm slowing down just to see if I can see any elk. So far, no. They hide pretty well in here. No, not around here. They could be on the other side, which makes it hard for us to see them. No, I don't think they're here. There they are. There's a couple of them. I don't know if you guys can see them. I know we can't zoom in with this GoPro, so, but yeah, there's a couple of elk out there. Yeah, it's always interesting to see them. It's one of the highlights of riding Busse Woods. So yeah, I don't know how long this video has been going yet. I didn't set the timer, so I have no clue. But man, there's a lot of people out here. Yeah, it's interesting. Sometimes you hit the bell, there's no reaction from people, and other times you hit the bell and they're like shocked. So how are we doing so far? How's the look to you guys? Put a comment below. Let me know what you think of the new look using the GoPro versus the Canon. Yeah, let's talk about that again. The Canon camera is essentially a point and shoot camera that also does video, and a lot of YouTubers use the Canon G7X Mark II and the Mark III, although I think the Mark II is still ultimately better in focusing. They use that as their travel camera. And of course others use big DSLRs and mirrorless cameras too. But if you want to do things like this, where you have to mount it on your chest, you can't use a big camera, of course. So it's got to be something small. So I had the G7X Mark II, so I could do talking head videos. There's the person with the dog on. The dog's on her shoulder. So I think the dog is mounted on a backpack. But anyways, I was using it for like talking head videos, where you're just kind of staying in the studio and talking. But then as we got the bike, I decided that that I'd have to use the G7X Mark II, mount it on my chest, and use it for recording. Now, if you've seen the very early bike videos, you know the struggles we've had with that, because you really can't aim the camera easily, because you can't really see where you're aiming it at. So you record the whole thing, you hope it comes out. Same thing with the GoPro. You kind of hope it comes out, because you really can't see what you're doing when it's on your chest either. But that camera, even though it's a point and shoot, which is smaller than the standard DSLR, than some of the big mirrorless cameras, SLR cameras. Well, mirrorless wouldn't be SLRs, but mirrorless cameras. It's smaller and lighter, so it fits on your chest easily.
Bye.
So it's really the best solution is to use a small camera, and I would say that the GoPro seems to do the best so far. Now there's other cameras out there, the Insta360s and other things, and those are kind of cool, but you know, the way I make my videos, it's usually one long video, so I don't want to do segments with a really small camera. And on that camera too, you do have to do some special post-processing, because it shoots it in 360. So So to make it look like a regular thing, like a regular view, you've got to process the video. So that's just extra work I didn't really want to do. It's the big deal thing now, but I felt that the GoPro was the easiest solution. It's got its issues, of course, but most cameras have their own little issues. Yeah, this is, Busse is very hard to deal with sometimes. There's so many people out here that you're constantly dodging them. There's runners, there's rollerbladers, there's bikers, there's walkers. So yeah, if you come out here, it's a lot of effort. This is why I usually like doing it during weekdays. Even weekdays, there's people out here. But weekends, even worse. These things will give you a good test of your brakes. Yeah, speaking of brakes, I adjusted my brakes again after my last ride, just to make sure I had good stopping power, because I kind of knew that coming here you definitely would need it. You don't want to run into people and not be able to stop. I would say that I've adjusted these disc brakes so many times that I'm gonna need to buy some new brake cables. Not really sure how to do that. I know that looking on Amazon, they have brake cables you can buy. I think you slide them through the existing plastic sheaths. Is that the right word for it? I mean, they sell you just the cable, the metal cable itself, and it's not bare wire that's on your bike. It goes through, well, at least here on the radrover, a black plastic sheath. So I'm thinking that's what you do. How do you know if the cable is the correct thickness unless it's standardized? I've never changed brake cables before, but I think I'm gonna have to do that, because since I've changed it so many times on my bike, fixing the brake cable constantly, a couple of strands have already broken off. So I kind of know I have to make a change of the cable eventually. So that might be coming up. This is why I feel that the brakes is such a hassle to deal with on these bikes. These I don't know if it's because I'm braking a lot, which I know I don't. I don't. But why am I having to readjust so often? All right. So I've been throttling so much today that, yeah, my hand is starting to fade out here. It needs a little bit of exercising here just to get the blood flowing again. So yeah, if you don't see the right hand on there, yeah, I'm pedaling. Have to. Believe it or not, we still haven't hit once around Busse Woods. We're still going. Yeah, this is gonna be one long video for you guys. So I am debating again whether I should go through it a second time. I think we're coming up towards the end of the run, but yeah, I'm debating whether I should do it a second time. You know, with the knee having an issue, having fallen on it. Yeah, probably not. I'll go through this the one time and then call it quits, I guess. But I'll take you through the path that I take to get out of here. Because that adds, I don't know, another mile or two on top of the circular path here. So yeah, let's take you through that too. Now I know that you've seen it before coming here. I don't think you've seen it getting out of here. So it might be interesting for you. So we'll keep going. So overall, like I said, I am enjoying what I'm seeing off of the GoPro. I know a lot of people use GoPros, but for me it's a new thing. You know, I'm used to big pro cameras. Not used to these little cameras, these little action cameras, but man, it's pretty impressive. Okay, this is where I usually come onto the path. So we're gonna head out of it. So we've done the circular full 11-mile run. So what's our mileage so far? We're at 2142. So it's getting up there. My pedal assist has been in level 3, and of course I've been throttling along with it. The bottom number that you see is the amount of wattage that you have. This is a 750 watt motor, supposedly. It peaks at 750. I truly think it's really only a 500 watt motor that peaks out at 750. A lot of people think that too for the radrover. But you'll see how much wattage you're using. And of course, every time you throttle, that thing goes way up there. You know, if you hit a full throttle, you're at 750. If you do a pedal assist, it varies. So pedal assist level 3, I think maxes out at about 377, 360, something like that. And as you get higher in the pedal assist, you get even more usage of wattage. So my battery has been jumping back and forth between 4 bars and 5 bars. Yeah, we'll hang back. This way you have somebody to look at. You know, there's always tempting. Do you pass them or do you not pass them? You pass them, then they get upset that you passed them. And then you got to go even faster because you got to keep that speed. Otherwise, it's like, why did you even bother to pass? Okay, back out in the bright sun here. So the transition, you know, take a look at the video. Did it transition well from darker area to brighter area? I will say that I enjoy their super view, which is their ultra wide angle. Yeah, there's curvature of trees and things that you pass. You do see that. But overall, I think I'm forgiving that just to be able to see more width in the videos. It just makes the video look, I don't know, it just looks more interesting to me to be able to see that. Colors look really good on the GoPro. I do make a slight adjustment. Some folks have been saying that you just set your white balance at 5500 Kelvin, which is, you know, daylight settings. But I go in and out of bright and dark areas, which means your color temperature is constantly changing. Unless you're staying in bright sunlight the entire time, in which case setting it at one setting is fine. But because I go in and out of dark areas in the forest preserves, setting at 5500 doesn't seem to make a whole lot of sense. And I know this because, again, I did photography for so long. I understand these things. So I thought the best solution was to leave it at auto white balance, let the camera try to figure itself out, and then make your adjustments in post-production. So I do a slight adjustment to correct the auto white balance from GoPro. And a lot of people say that the auto white balance on GoPro is not that great. Well, it wasn't that great on the Canon camera either, but it seems to be better than the Canon camera in that regards. So I'm satisfied with it. Colors look decent. The green grass looks decent. So I'm happy with that. Now, they do say that the GoPro does tend to overexpose, and that you should drop your exposure compensation at least a -1 EV. So that's what I'm doing right now. I've dropped it to -1. That, of course, makes the video a little darker, and so I have to adjust for that again in post-production. But I think it's better to do that than to record with it overexposing constantly. Because if it's blowing out highlights, you cannot recover that. So best to record it slightly darker, fix it later. So these are little technicalities, and I guess if you don't have, software, it could cause you a problem. But you need software to connect up all of your videos, because GoPro segments your videos. Every 4 gigabytes, it chops up your video and creates a new file. And this is just for compatibility with other things that you might use to play back your video. But I think at this point, a lot of people have decent computers that can handle a larger file. They also say that the reason they do it is because if there's a corruption that happens, you don't lose all of your footage, you just lose some of it. Yeah, okay, I see that. But it does require me to do editing, so I can connect up all those files again. And because I use an external microphone, I've got to connect that up along with it. So I've got to synchronize a whole bunch of separate files to create one big long file. And that's the one thing I didn't realize too. I didn't change the batteries on my external digital recorder, so I'm hoping it's still recording. I don't know for a fact. If it doesn't, then of course I'll be using the built-in microphone audio from GoPro, which is not all that great, quite frankly. I think it's worse than the Canon camera in sound quality, so you have to do post-production to the audio as well. All right, we are out of Busse Woods. We are back into the area I used to get here. So you see my entire path. I'll bring you to the street level where I get on. So anyways, I appreciate you guys sticking it out this long for this very long test ride for me. It was a painful ride with the fall. And these falls are, they have nothing to do with my ability or inability to ride a bike. If your shoelaces get stuck in your pedals and winding around your pedals, there's nothing you can do. You can't you can't get out of it. I guess I could have went to the left, but I didn't want to risk the left to replace the knee. That would be worse. I'd rather take the skinned knee on the right side than to take a fall and a hit on the replaced knee. Anyways, I appreciate you guys following along. If you like the video, hit the like button. Definitely hit the subscribe button. And I'll talk to you guys next time.